So I've had a bit of a midlife crisis here. No, actually, I sent myself on a bit of a wild goose chase because of one piece that I own that I know is rare, but it feels like it shouldn't be. It's not a piece that's sought out by anyone, I don't think, and it's this piece right here. This is a too long thin lift arm in old dark gray, and the reason that it's rare is that it is exclusively from a handful of Technic space sets, with the exception of 2 Bionicle canisters, which I find really fascinating. Fun fact, I didn't get these from Bionicle canisters. In fact, I didn't even get them as a pair. I found them both independently at a Lego reseller store that I live nearby. On 2 separate occasions, I found one each. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll take those. So I own 2 of them, but I own 2 of them from who knows where. With that said, though, I do find it fascinating that they apparently come in these containers. I can't confirm that, obviously, but, you know, it's marked here. I'm sure they know better than I do. But then, so when I was looking for that information, I thought to myself, well, like, it's really interesting to me because this piece actually was introduced in 4 brand new colors for the first time in just the last couple of years. And I find it really surprising because they're common colors. Orange, lime green, and yellow, for one thing, all colors that have been used by Lego for decades at this point, only just recently saw this piece introduced. And then, of course, dark azure as well. On the same set that includes the yellow one, the Bugatti Bolide or Bolide, it has a color variation that you can get that is dark azure. So if you like yellow, you can get yellow. If you like dark azure, you can get that one. And both of them come with the exact same colors, just color swapped. It's like the Jet Tracks of 2023. Anyway, it's a fantastic set, by the way, and I would recommend it if you wanted to just like go out and buy something that has a ton of parts for not as much price, because it's a good parts pack too as well. My hair's going to go crazy on this side, apparently. Anyway, so outside of that, though, the wild goose chase this ended up actually sending me on had to do with the Gukko bird. And I know this sounds super weird at first, but bear with me. Because for this set, for a very long time, I've wanted to build it in another color. I'm somebody who really likes building Rahi in tertiary colors, like other colors that they didn't come in before. I say tertiary because the 2001 Rahi came in 2 colors each, but you get the point I'm getting at, right? And so the Gukko here is kind of a special case because in 2003, Lego very heavily featured the color dark orange, both in this set here, but also in the Ussel Crab. And I think part of the reason they did that was because it just makes them very easy to combine, right? It's the same color on both sets, so you can combine them without really much issue. But the sets themselves do look fairly different overall. In this case here, you can see it pairs it with silver, of course, quite heavily, as well as light gray, which I imagine was just Lego's way of not recoloring that piece in silver, but still gave us a recolor of that piece as well. And of course, orange around sort of the eye area. But then I had to ask myself, because I see this picture, well, the head, it's upside down, right? No big deal. People take pictures like this all the time. I see some really wacky stuff over on like eBay and elsewhere, but is this head actually upside down? The reason I had to ask myself this question is because I'm familiar with another error in the instructions manual from the Gukko bird specifically. First off, when we look at the cover of the manual, we can see it has dark orange on the top, and the manual will tell you to build it this way as well. However, we also see these curves used on the body, specifically on these quarter ellipse pieces. Nice to revisit those, and I'll talk about those here in a minute. But what interests me, what really fascinates me about this is in both cases where you see the quarter ellipse, they're oriented in the way that I think makes the most sense on this instructions manual, where that curve kind of goes into the body. However, if we look at them in the instructions manual themselves, you can see in both cases that the angle is facing outward. The curve is actually leaning into the body. And I find that really odd because it's very clearly different from the instructions manual cover, right? But it is how the instructions tell you to build it. So what's the proper way to build it? Honestly, I'd say that's up to you, right? I like building it where the curves are facing outward because it just kind of streamlines the build a bit more. And I think that's kind of what Lego had intended. But then I think to myself, okay, so what do I see when I see these colors? Well, I look at the silver and I look and I think, okay, that's probably armor of some kind, right? Like they've made armor specifically for this Gukko bird. You know, they have the Gukko patrols and stuff like that. And so maybe this is just something that's draped over top the body. But then why is it on the chin of the bird's head? That doesn't make sense to me because it's on the top everywhere else. But then once you get to the head, it flips to the bottom side. So is the head actually upside down? I don't know. We can also see on the cover of the instructions that the what is this called? The 3-length thin lift arm is further forward but then when we look at it in the instructions, it's further back. So there are a lot of errors in this instructions. No matter how you build it, by the way, if you pay attention to the instruction cover or if you follow the instructions, the functions of this will still work no matter what. They're not bothered by any of this. So that's probably why it didn't get caught, because Lego just didn't really have a reason. They weren't looking for that stuff. It's really sloppy, sure, but it still works. It still gets a functional toy out to the public. If this inhibited the function in any way, I think Lego would have actually gone out of their way to be like, oh, hey guys, we made a mistake. Let's fix this. It's kind of a problem here. But so the reason I brought up the Gukko bird specifically, going back to that rare recolor of this piece here, is because there's another piece on this set that I have wanted recolored for a very long time, and they have not done it yet, and I'm honestly surprised. It is the quarter ellipse here in lime green. That's a pretty particular color. Why would I want lime green of all things for a set like this? Well, it has one thing. So, as I mentioned, I like to recolor my Rahi, and the Gukko bird, all of the pieces in the set, minus that quarter ellipse, are available in lime green, also minus the weapons. But since I have the weapons in lime green from a handful of bootleg sets, I have wanted for so long to build the Gukko bird in lime green, potentially swap the silver out for gunmetal just to see what it looks like, and just go from there. And I can't do it because of that one piece. And the thing is, too, that I know that there are third-party manufacturers out there that make like Lego pieces in different colors and stuff, and I've seen several that make the quarter ellipse piece as well, and I have not yet seen them make lime green either. I'm like, why? I want it so bad. I really, really want it. So I'm hoping to get my hands on it at some point. I'm really hoping for Lego to announce that they're making a brand new set 1 year or 2 years down the road. Make it a $10 set. I don't even care. It could be a brand new forklift or something, or a piece of farm equipment or whatever. Make it lime green. Give it the quarter ellipse. I will love you forever. I'll commit to brand loyalty. I'll never talk about any other brand again. That's obviously a lie, but still, I do really want these pieces. And so let me know your thoughts on the Gukko bird, because I find it as a really fascinating case about just like all the things that could go wrong in the instructions kind of did, and yet you still get something that looks kind of cool along the way. At the end of the day, I'm sure that the head is probably oriented the correct direction. I think like on every other piece of media, it's always oriented with the orange at the top. Don't quote me on that. I haven't seen every other piece, and surely someone out there is going to find one where it's like, actually, this one was provided by Lego and it's wrong, or whatever, right? So I think it's just kind of up to you how you build the Gukko. Do you build it with the silver on the top of its head, on the bottom of its head? Do you throw that color out the window and go with something completely different? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It does help out. And of course, you can check out links for Discord, Instagram, and Patreon, all of which are in the description. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.